Over in the pages of Marvel Comics Amazing Spider-Man issue 26, Kamala Khan, also known as Miss Marvel, went ahead and stepped in to help Peter Parker in his battle over with Nemesis Benjamin Rabin, also known as the Emissary over in the space of Marvel. In order to help, Kamala went ahead and disguised herself as Peter Parker's former love interest, Mary Jane. Sadly, Kamala was unable to escape the blade from Benjamin Rabin and went ahead and made the ultimate sacrifice to save the Marvel Universe. Today, we're going to go ahead and celebrate the life of Kamala Khan with some of the heroes and creators of the Marvel character. My name is Arako Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and dive into Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel #1 over from Marvel Comics. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our content. Without further ado, I want to introduce Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel with Marvel Comics solicitation text for the issue. The heart of the Marvel Universe has stopped beating. Kamala Khan died a hero's death in Amazing Spider-Man 26, saving our entire universe. Come join the other heroes of the Marvel Universe, the creators of Miss Marvel, and comic fans everywhere in honoring and remembering one of Marvel's brightest stars. Want to go ahead and introduce our creative team on Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. This issue is written over from GWillowWilson, featuring some art over from Takeshi Miyazawa, colors from Ian Herring, as well as letters from VC's Ariana Maher. And here's a look over at Kaare Andrews' epic cover celebrating the life of the Marvel hero. I want to extend a big thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting this preview of the issue so quickly. And I want to start by talking a little bit about the first chapter in the story called Kamala. So one of the things I really appreciate about what both GWillowWilson and Takeshi Miyazawa lend over to this Kamala chapter of the series is the level of authenticity that they bring here. I really like the fact that Wilson went ahead and went back into Miss Marvel's supporting cast to pull out characters like Bruno and Nakia in order to celebrate the life over from Miss Marvel, and getting the chance to see Miyazawa's art again over on the series really brought back some nostalgic feelings for me over with the book. I really appreciate the kind of sparse sense of architecture that Miyazawa lends to some of the pages over in the issue. I think it gives the book a more modest feel, and there's this sense of kind of anxiety lingering from these wide open and really big spaces here too. Also, Miyazawa is great at capturing the emotions for several characters within the story. There's so many great, really solemn expressions for several of the kind of heroes throughout the Marvel Universe. And like, take a look over at this page that we have up on the screen. The way that Bruno and some of the other Kamala Khan supporting cast members react to kind of Carol entering the room is a really great moment in the book. And the way that Miyazawa captured it over with a panel bleed is really fascinating in the title as well. I also really loved over from the kind of scripting side when GWillowWilson was able to reintroduce Wolverine back into the series. Wolverine has had a couple really strong moments over with Kamala Khan. I love the way that Wolverine was trying to observe some of the traditions over with Kamala's family as well throughout the title. I really think that GWillowWilson's kind of attention to detail in terms of some of the dialogue is what makes this series. And again, I can't stress enough how wonderful Wolverine's interaction is over in this title as well. There's actually 3 stories over in Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. They're all extremely connected to each other, and the book essentially gives you one after another. This second one is called Champion, and it features writing over from Mark Waid, pencils from Humberto Ramos, inks from Victor Olazaba, colors from Edgar Delgado, and letters from VC's Ariana Maher. In terms of the Champion story over from Mark Waid, I have to admit that this is a period in Kamala Khan's life that I don't have that same level of nostalgia for throughout the series. I think that really weird and strange ideology that the champions had, featuring characters a little bit younger in their career, never led to that kind of, big and bold payoff I was looking for over in a story like this, due to the fact that there are so many kind of flashback sequences to Kamala's time as a champion over in this title. I wasn't really able to get that same sense of enjoyment as I was from that first story over in the issue. There's some good character material here, and I can definitely acknowledge that in terms of Viv Vision in particular, I think she gets the chance to find some really interesting kind of emotional core in terms of the issue. I think Humberto Ramos continues to get better in terms of the art. The amount of panels that Ramos can kind of squeeze onto one page and the way that Ramos designs some of these pages are incredibly intriguing. The only thing I would say about the artwork in terms of this storyline is I wish some of the facial expressions featured a little bit more detail and that some of this work had a little bit more of a serious tone here. I think that strangely enough, Humberto Ramos gets a little bit kind of caught up in some of these sillier emotions and isn't able to keep the tone of the story intact in certain moments. As a whole here, I think there's definitely some interesting moments of characterization. I just wish that this kind of champion story featured some more emotionally honest conversations and some sequences that focused a little bit more in terms of some of the other characters and moments in Kamala's life. Chapter 3 of the series is called Avenger. It's written from Saladin Ahmed, featuring art from Andrea Vito, colors from Edgar Delgado, and letters from VC's Ariana Maher. So in terms of this story, we really got a chance to see some of the older heroes in the Marvel Universe reacting to the kind of surprise fall of Kamala Khan. And I really thought that this was an incredibly emotional story. It was great to kind of get the opportunity to see some of the heroes of the Marvel Universe return some of the admiration that she gave them really early on in her career, very similar to those conversations that Wolverine had over in the first chapter called Kamala from Wilson and Miyazawa. I think Andrea DeVito as well as Saladin Ahmed do a great job picking up on some of the characterization for Iron Man and Captain America, kind of acknowledging what Kamala's family is going through over in this period of the book. I think there was some really wonderful emotional material that Ahmed was able to capture over with this character. And due to the fact that this book is kind of connected over in terms of the Amazing Spider-Man main series, I really found Peter Parker's kind of last minute appearance be quite emotional throughout this issue. I think the final page of the book features such incredible work and continues to sort of expand on the idea that some of these heroes in the Marvel Universe are finally giving Kamala, the admiration that she gave them for all this like big window of time. But in terms of the kind of overall series, I just want to take a few moments to speak about the kind of ideology over on this issue as a whole. I'm still a little bit perplexed as to why Marvel decided to take Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, off the board. I'm wondering if she's going to be involved in the Fall of X storyline some way. And so if Marvel had to temporarily sort of take her off the board to tell a story that they thought was necessary, I kind of thought that there would be a little bit more material in this Fallen Friend, the Death of Miss Marvel's story to give some bigger implications about what role Kamala's death serves in the Marvel Universe. One thing that I really want to explore here is the fact that there should be a more open door in terms of death in the space of superhero comics, but kind of pushing a minority character who I wouldn't really like to see in that role forward is definitely maybe not the right direction for the publisher. But at this point, I'm still curious to see if there was some sort of bigger end goal and if Marvel can find a larger place over for this character death. So at the end of the day here, in terms of the actual content in Fallen Friend, the Death of Miss Marvel, I think there's some great writing from an assortment of these creators throughout the Marvel Universe. I think these moments with the adult heroes written by Saladin Ahmed and GWillowWilson for select portions is really worth it to be able to get to see Kamala's arc go full circle in how some of these older heroes talk about her. And the way that they kind of share that admiration for Kamala really gives me the sense that there's been some plotting and planning over in terms of this character death. I'm really hoping that Marvel has something else up their sleeve or some big idea to really make this seem like a plot point that was necessary in terms of the greater Marvel universe. I want to know from you, what were some of your thoughts on Fallen Friend, the death of Miss Marvel? Do you think this was a respectful way to close out Kamala's chapter in the Marvel universe? What do you think Marvel has planning for the death of Kamala Khan? Do you think she'll be reborn in the Fallout 4 Fall of X? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our review for Fallen Friend, the death of Miss Marvel, and we'll be back to cover Spider-Man, Marvel Comics, and Fall of X in the near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.